It's trial day, baby. Let's go. Dunk 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 dunk. Give me a little savey, baby. Ace Attorney. Justice for all. Ah. Huff. Huff. How do I get into this mess? How do I get into this mess? That's far enough. You can't run forever. Mr. Finish, right? What have I done wrong? Can I allow you? This is the dream from the first thing. Can I allow you to go on like this? But I'm just a simple defense attorney. With spiky hair, silence. You are no longer worthy of your title. Watch. I've had this dream before, someplace, some time ago. As if this day was written, and whatever. Today I'll stand in court as a lawyer. To prove I could kill her innocent. March 23rd, 9:43 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3. Dunka hunky dunk dunk. Beep. Hello, this is Phoenix, right? You don't look so well, dude. You're gonna prove me not guilty today, right? Where'd you get that from? If you please, Mr. Lawyer. Remember, it's not just me. My precious little friend's little life is riding on today's verdict too. Grr. Now listen up, you better get on guard of your guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag not guilty, I'll never forgive you either. Phoenix? Phoenix. Maya, how's Maya? I don't know. You don't know. Hasn't tried to channel me since yesterday. Mia, what am I supposed to do? Well, like I said, for a lawyer, the worst of the times are when you have to force your biggest smiles. But you can't give up. Still hope left. Stop it, please. Nothing left, no here, not anywhere. Curse Garde again. Will you leave me alone? Okay, don't call me anymore, I mean it. You're really mean, pal. Not Gumshoe, I'm really sorry. Where are you? Let me join the investigation team and we're chasing the killer, pal. Then you have some sort of lead. Sorry, but right now we've got 0 leads on this guy. Not giving up. Until the trial is over, until the verdict is handed down. We're going to do everything we can to find the killer. We can get Maya out, then you can get Garde the guilty verdict he deserves, pal. That's true, I could do that if they found Maya first. You got that, so you have to do whatever you can to make the trial last longer. If the trial lasts longer, go and Mr. Edgeworth with everything you got, then you two can draw it out. Oh no, I get it. I believe in you, pal. You and Mr. Edgeworth can do it. So believe in us. We're going to give it all we got, just like you. Thanks, Gumshoe. Beep. Hey, Phoenix, you understand now, don't you? You have something money will never be able to buy. Friendship. Strongest weapon in the world, and you have it in abundance. So we're coming to an end. To make the trial last as long as I can, Gumshoe will come through. I know it. But we only have like an hour. We only have like 45 minutes until it's time for start, dude. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Garde. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. You know, they didn't have to say it like that, but I get it. Now, as I recall, we concluded yesterday's session with a big mystery on our hands. Mystery being what exactly was Mr. Andrews' role in this murder. Say it's truly connected to the crime itself. Mr. Edgeworth, if you would please inform the court of today's proceedings. Adrian Andrews. He forged evidence that threw suspicion onto Mr. Garde, and then proceeded to escape the crime scene by wearing a nickel samurai costume. Few of these actions are those from which she cannot escape. Saying that she is guilty after all, I'm not finished, Your Honor. Ms. Andrews had nothing to do with committing the actual murder. I had to direct the court's attention to this card. What is that? It looks like a shell. This is the calling card of a certain assassin. Assassin, you say? This one Karada was killed by a professional assassin. The person who hired the assassin, his client, so to speak, Mr. Garde. What is the surprising turn of events? No. I would think it's become commonplace by now, Your Honor. I know what's going on with this time, so I know that everything Edwards has said is true. We still have to hold out as long as we can, at least until Maya is safe and sound. I wonder how the trial will turn out today. Now then, please call your first witness, Mr. Edwards. Prosecution calls the defendant mentor, Mr. Will Powers, to the stand. Hello, Mr. Powers. Now then, witness your name and occupation, please. Okay. I'm, Will Powers. Isn't it the name of the kid from, Stranger Things? Honestly, I don't remember. Poor underpaid action star. And what is your relation to the defendant? Well, I guess I'm sort of a lousy mentor to women in a way, yeah. Mr. Powers, please, you don't need to put yourself down so much. Oh, sorry, well, I'm just kind of a nothing sort of guy. Night of the murder, you visited the defendant's room. Is that correct? Yes. I didn't know that. But you know, I didn't actually go to see Matt when I went. All you need to do is answer to what I asked. Now then, I would like you to please testify about when you went to Mr. Ngarde's room. Alright, sure. After the reward ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in the samurai costume, talking with someone. At first I thought it was the bellboy. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back. I guess with me that night, I couldn't make them wait for me. Nothing sounds out of place in Mr. Powers' testimony. Talking with the bellboy is no big deal. One assumed that the person Mr. Ngarde was speaking with was an ordinary bellboy. Well, what are you implying? No. Well, Mr. Wright, let's have your cross-examination, shall we? We're in another sticky situation. A trap, can't you smell it, Phoenix? But for us to find out more, we're going to have to charge headfirst into it, right? Hold it! The defendant's room? Why'd you go in there? Well, I'm his mentor, like a big brother, sort of, and I wanted to say congrats. What's wrong? Why'd you stop? Mr. Wright. What is it? You're going to try to trick me in a corner, aren't you? Huh? I know I'm just a poor underpaid action star, but I'm not the killer. No one said you were, Mr. Powers. No, please don't trick me. Every time you do your lawyer thing, the witness suddenly turns into the bad guy. Every time. Witness, I will personally talk to the defense at the later time. So for now, please kindly cooperate and continue with your testimony. Sorry. So you went to the defendant's room and then... Hey, wait a minute. When and how did I suddenly turn into the bad guy here? Hold it. Are you sure that was Matt Ngarde? Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't wearing the Nickel Samurai mask then. If that's the case, then you really can't be mistaken. And what was the defendant doing standing there in front of his own room? At first, what do you mean by that? Tomato juice. Well, he was in a bellboyish uniform and he had a bottle of juice in the tray. Like an ordinary bellboy to me. Yeah, but I don't think he was a normal bellboy. Why was that? Why do I think that, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Sorry, but I can't remember right now. Sorry. So we're gonna have to wait patiently on this one. You saw the two of them, the bellboy and the defendant, together, correct? Yeah, the bellboy just wanted to say congrats. You know, while you were watching the two of them, did you notice anything strange? You know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. A tip. Can't be America. That's a perfectly normal thing to do. So how long did you watch the two of them? Not more than a minute or two, I think. So who were these guests talking about? You guys, of course. You and Maya and Little Pearl. I thought it would be really rude to say about you guys. But disappeared on you. Went back to my seat pretty soon after seeing Matt in the hallway. Like squeezing water from a stone. Probably pointless to press further. Do you remember this incident? Once the powers leave his state that night, remember that happening at all. Maya was making such a racket in her hyper state, and then focusing on her. In any case, from the story, you probably wasn't gone for very long. I really want to press you, but I'm not really sure that's right. They didn't mention the tip, and I'm not really sure what they want me to do with that. Word ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Now standing there in front of his room, still in the Nicole Summer costume. I was a bellboy. Two of them well, then I gave up and went back. What was it? This is nothing. Oh, which one? Two. From that one? First. Wait a second. Actually, Mr. Powers, only a few minutes ago you stated. You know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt willingly gave the bellboy a tip. Could it be that you felt something strange about this tip giving itself? Ah, yeah, that's it. You really know your job. Mr. Edwards? Yes, Your Honor? Bellboy, he wasn't an ordinary one, was he? Perhaps we should let the witness tell us. Very well. Mr. Powers, please amend your testimony. You mean about the bellboy, right? And do I show the picture, maybe? I should probably press it first, right? So he gave the bellboy a tip. What's so strange about that? Oh, well, you see, Matt's not a poor penny pincher like me. I was trying to figure out how much it was because the tip really shocked me. How much it was. That's when something even more surprising happened. Bellboy was putting the tip he got in his pocket, and that's when I got my first good look at the guy's face. He was shocked. Afraid I don't follow at all. I think Mr. Powers was surprised twice about this event. I wonder which of the shocking moments I should ask about. The defendant is a huge star. He can afford to give generous tips, wouldn't you agree? Sure. Giving him that much was maybe a little too much, I think. A little too much. Would you please clarify for the court? But how much would you say the defendant gave the bellboy? I don't know. I can't even get a prompt guess. Why is that? Because he gave the bellboy a really, really fat roll of cash. A roll of cash. Oh, well, how interesting. Certainly it was a very generous tip, wasn't it? A very fat roll of cash. Can hardly be called a tip, Your Honor. Just beginning to look awfully suspicious. I mean, what do we have to object? I don't know, man. You really objected here? I mean, you can argue that a fat roll of money isn't really odd. Applying that roll of cash without the tip. And what was it? Payment, Your Honor. Payment. Isn't it obvious? For the murder of Mr. Juan Carrata. Then... And the bellboy that witness saw, yes, he was an assassin. Hold your horses now, Mr. Edworth. You don't have any proof of this, do you? Have I ever been unprepared to support my claims, Your Honor? I have here the car Charlie the Killer left at the scene of the crime. It's Charlie the Killer. He's a person the police special investigations team has been chasing for ages. I'm certain that this person the witness saw was the very assassin she laid to kill her. Really? What's wrong, Mr. Powers? Nothing, something just clicked in my head and I think I just figured something out. Oh, actually, I saw the bellboy again later that night. What? When he went to go hand me the phone or the transceiver? Mr. Powers, please testify. Tell us about what you saw. Yes, sir, right away. This time I saw that I was in the hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. From the bellboy where I saw earlier came out of the room. Of course, when I said room, I meant Juan Carter's room. Now that I think about it, the bellboy does seem kind of out of place. Yeah, so we had to be the assassin, I'm sure of it. I mean... Thank you very much, this is all we need for now. Huh? But I'm not done, there's still more. Let us first establish that the bellboy was truly Mr. the Killer, then we shall see. Bellboy came out of the victim's room, and if the bellboy really was the assassin, then I think the answer is fairly obvious. It would be correct, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Wright, I believe it's your turn and to make us laugh. Ha ha ha. No laughing matter. Second time. Time I was in the hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. What time was it? Ah, well, I don't remember. Our award ceremony ended about 8 p.m., right? And I went to Matt's room pretty soon after that. Then I came back. And then I went to the bathroom. I guess maybe it was around 8:10 by that time. The one for details, sorry, Mr. Powers. Sorry. I thought I could maybe catch Matt and say my congrats. Are you sure it was the same bellboy? Yeah? And how could you tell? All the bellboys wear the same uniform after all. But you see, we all had those stitches. He had those stitches on his face. Irk. So I'm sure he's the same guy that was talking with Matt. Which room did the bellboy come out of? Victim's room, huh? Yeah, the one with all the really pretty flowers and teddy bears. Juan's room, alright. We're gonna describe how screwed I am. Let's continue with this testimony, shall we? It seemed kinda out of place. So what exactly was so out of place about him? Right. Why the inspired grin? Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing he's gonna say next. Well, the bellboy was empty-handed. Empty-handed? The bellboy was one of the room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing a cart, and he wasn't holding a tray either. You call that a little strange too, wouldn't you? Agree that it was a bit strange, Mr. Powers. Is it really unusual for Bellboy to be empty-handed? Is that new? Full fast one? I mean, he had the juice. Really strange. Did I not hit the wrong one? But it really is? It really isn't. You two are done being school children. Bellboys are for room service. There is no reason for them to be empty-handed ever. Your Honor, I ask that the witness's previous statement be supplied with this new one. Edgeworth, are you going to do whatever you can to make this bellboy look suspicious? I see very well, and this court recognizes and grants the prosecutor's request. Mr. Powers, if you could amend your testimony, please. Yes, sir. He wasn't empty-handed. Objection! Mr. Powers. Yes? You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? As soon as you heard that the bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in the believing it must be true. But isn't he really suspicious? Look at all these stitches and... So baseball has stitches. Are you saying all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches? Gulp. Well, there's also, I mean, what about him being empty-handed? I would like to ask the court to please take a look here. This is the crime scene. There's a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Carter's body. The liquid inside the glass is tomato juice. Now if you would look at what is on top of the table in the lower right hand corner, anyone can clearly see that it was a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Carter's room. He left a tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left. Ah, but that would mean the bellboy has seen and left the dead body in the room. No. You fool, charlatan. What can you prove that Mr. Carter was already dead at the time? Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, I blame you for leading me down this route. I'm terribly sorry. I was with him. Why is he laughing? Witness, isn't there one more thing you would like to share with us? Is there? The bellboy was empty-handed, or should I say empty-handed? recall you had something interesting to say about his hands. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. What? The boy was wearing gloves. Gloves. Yeah, pitch black leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right? Black leather gloves. Why didn't you mention them earlier? Sorry, I slipped my mind. Boy, does this make the bellboy look really suspicious. Alright, gotta focus here, can't get lax here. So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves. Come on, Mr. Wright, that bellboy was wearing black leather ones. So a football is made of leather. Are you saying all footballs are suspicious because they are made of leather? Gulp. That man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendant. And then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself can believe he was just another bellboy. Ugh. Seems that we have finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony. The rest? Oh yes, please tell us more. Okay. After leaving Juan's room, the boy went and knocked on Matt's door just like that. He did something to the person inside the room. Then the old guy just left without even going into the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. So the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, next went to the defendant's room. Yeah, I kind of saw that. All by the accident. Some accident. I'd say you saw too much. All of it was suspicious to high heaven. I think it's safe to say that we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal. Now then, let's get started, shall we, Mr. Wright? Your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Hold it! Is that what you saw while you were busy spying? Excuse me? Maybe a poor, underpaid action star. But even I wouldn't stoop so to spying. And the point is, where did you match all this from, Mr. Powers? Anybody on yet? No believe so. Oh, from the door of the bathroom with my left eye, sort of a sneaky spy-like. I knew he was spying. Please, does it really matter if he was doing it over or underhandedly? What did the bellboy do next? That's what we need to know. I said hold it. Okay. Better? I am. What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details. Oh, okay, I should probably ask him. Who took something the bellboy handed off? Actually, I don't know. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. Only the arm? When, then you were saying you didn't see the person's face? Yeah. Well, it was Mr. Engarde's room, correct? So it could have only been Mr. Engarde himself, I'd say. And then what did the bellboy do after that? Oh, and after that he gave the person inside the room the thing. But the other option? Give something to this person? Yeah, and what was this something? Ah, ha ha. If I remembered what it was, I wouldn't be calling something, would I? But this implies that something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure you really can't remember, Mr. Powers? I think it was something kind of small. I would like to summarize the testimony up to this point, if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There he handed a small item of some sort to the person inside. As for this person who received the item, all we could see was a person's arm. Yes, it was just like that. Mr. Edgeworth, is all this really important? Of course, Your Honor. I think this is of the utmost importance. Whenever it was removed from the crime scene, was handed over to the client. Mr. Powers, please try to remember what was handed to the bellboy. Well, let's see. I think it was no. Remember, please add it to your testimony. Yes, sir. A wooden stature? Okay, I'm done. Your wood? What the frick? Ellipses? What was the point of that pregnant pause? Where did the objection come from? Well, speak up. It was from me, Your Honor. What is the Phoenix? I have a feeling that something bad is going to happen once I show this. Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, the Phoenix, deep breath. Mr. Powers, there's something you saw. Was it this item? Oh, hey, that's it. I don't believe that's wooden. Well, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out. Recall we found this at Matt and Guardian's mansion. The defendant's house. Bunk bunk. What does this mean? It's simple, Your Honor. Charlie the Killer assassinated Juan Carrata in his room. And then he stole the wooden bear from the scene of the crime. Then the bear being found in Mr. Ngarde's... Alright. Then the bear being found in Mr. Ngarde's mansion would mean... It goes without saying, Your Honor. Mr. Ngarde is the killer's client. Donkey. Order, I said order. Mr. Wright, this is the most unfortunate turn of events for you. Yeah, sorry, Mia. That's alright, your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. If not now, then it would have later on. That's not wood, dude. Even if you haven't shown it to the court, I'm sure your friend Edward would have. I almost forgot that he knew about it too. I think it was clear that there is no need for us to continue this trial. Can't let this happen from something we overlooked. Your Honor, a minute, please. Yes, Mr. Wright? There are still a few points left that we have not fully explored. We're trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. Alright, Mr. Wright, questionable point. We don't know who received the bear. I guess that's one. There was one thing. I mean, we're just trying to stall him anyway, right? So, there was one thing in Mr. Powers' testimony that was very unclear, and that is the identity of the person who received the bear. He gave something to the person inside the room. I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. As long as we don't know who it was that took the bear, we can't be sure of. What was it, Mr. Powers? Don't just scream like that, then at least give us a good reason why. Oh yeah, sorry. Actually, so I remembered. I remembered who took the bear. What? Really? I mean, I only saw his arm, but the arm. It was Nickel Samurai's arm. I swear it. You gotta be kidding. Are you sure it was Mr. Powers? Are you sure it was Mr. Powers? Yeah, I'm sure it was Nickel Samurai. Dunk 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 dunk. Order. Looks like you dug yourself your own grave yet again. How many times is this today? I've lost count. So the person who took in this little bear was the Nickel Samurai. And then, as we all know, Matt Ngarde is the Nickel Samurai. Bringing to the defense, we've made this all very clear. What am I supposed to do now? Mia, help. You don't have time to act alone. Act lost. You have to find another angle to attack from. Hurry. Now we're all painting this cross-examination too. Your Honor. Your Honor. Again, Mr. Wright, we've already removed any and all questionable errors in this testimony. The time you were removed from this court, Mr. Wright. I had to find something even one point will do. There are still questions left unanswered. We're trying to pull. Oh, well, we can't have any of that. Alright, Mr. Wright. What questionable point would you like to explore further? The bear. I think it's fairly obvious that the bear itself is very questionable. The bear, Mr. Wright. Yeah, it's not wood. It was found in Mr. Ngarde's mansion. However, Mr. Ngarde was arrested at the hotel that night. Which means, okay, so they want to go that route, they can go that route, but I don't think it's wood. Which means that since the murder occurred, he has not had a chance to go home. Oh. I think Your Honor had already figured out what I'm trying to say. It's not possible that it was Mr. Ngarde who took this bear into his mansion. Powers, what is your composure? Your posture is just whatever. It's very true, we didn't consider this point, Mr. Wright. No way, time-wise, for the defendant to have taken this bear home. Is that so averted? You haven't gotten the best of me yet, Mr. Wright. Huh? I remember, clear as day. I remember what you muttered to yourself at Guardia's mansion. We have this area completely surrounded and there is no way for him to escape. Can't believe it, the butler, all this time, he was the killer. The killer and Guardia were working together, so to speak. The killer was hiding in the Guardia mansion as its butler. What a bold move. Bear Figurine was brought back to Guardia mansion by the killer himself. It was like he was about to be arrested and Guardia had to do so. I assume because it would have been bad to have the police found during their investigation. Well, Mr. Wright, this is entertainment. We've been quiet for a while now. This is too much. Is there anything I can do at all? I think we've heard enough. We now know why this Bear Figurine was at the defendant's mansion. As we all know, it was we all know who it was that received the bear from the assassin in this room. Everything has become very clear. The client who hired the assassin to commit the murder was Mr. Mangardi. I need to walk away for just a minute here. Kind of forgot about something. I'll be right back. I'll be like just a minute. Alright, I'm back. I apologize. No reason for this trial to continue, therefore, I will now hand down my verdict. Thank you, Your Honor, for your understanding. You see, Mr. Wright, you could not have won against the truth, could you? You turn out this way, after all. Edward has stated this is the truth. That's objection, Mr. Wright. Well, I do. What should I do? Objection! This is the only way for me to drag this trial out. One thing I'm left to do. What? Dirty trick. Your Honor. Right now, we have two set reasons to believe my client is Tess's client. Reason number one, he accepted the Bear Figurine from the assassin. Reason number two, that very same figurine was found in the Unguarded mansion. However, possible that there was another work of a certain other person. What are you saying? What I'm saying is it's possible a different person is the killer's real client. The real client? Yes, this is all you have. Okay, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. Do you say the killer is real client? Real murderer? Miss Adrian? Adrian Andrews? Adrian Andrews? Yes, we all know that she tried to frame Matt and Guardy for the crime. By wearing a spare nickel samurai costume. Ah, then. A nickel samurai's arm, that's what I saw. That could have very well been Miss Andrews. Dunka dunka honka dunka honka dunka honka. But what about Mr. Angarde? If you would, please recall yesterday's testimony. The defendant was taking a nap during the break period. That's about right. Then finding the figurine at Mr. Angarde's mansion, it was a well-laid trap set by Miss Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion on this? I can't even begin to count the flaws in this defense's logic, besides which there are no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either. Was with this trial? Come on, anyone can tell I was stop it, unbelievable. Save Maya, time to save Maya. Even if the whole world turns against me, this is one fight I can't give up on. Order, order. All disruptive parties will be forced to leave this courtroom. Your Honor, for the benefit of the defense, I'm willing to play along with this what-if game. The what-if game, Mr. Edgeworth. Prosecution is prepared to challenge the defense theory. Mr. Wright, even if you must have thought it strange and wondered, why would the criminal want a little wooden bear? He's right. The killer did especially bring the bear to Angarde right away. Why do you ask? Anything special about it? Absolutely. And I am sure that once the court knows the significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Your Honor, the prosecution calls upon a witness who will clear all doubts against Miss Andrews. Who would that be? Quite simple. Miss Andrews herself. Order! 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 Well then, the court will take a 10-minute recess. Prosecution will prepare as witness in that time. Yes, Your Honor. District Court, Defense Lobby number 3. Oh, I knew it was a good idea to hold her hostage, don't you agree, Mr. Lawyer? But I never thought in your desperation you'd try to pin the golden Adrian. That's where the demon will pay. Mr. Nick, Pearls, where's Mia? I don't know, a real strong power suddenly called her away. Real strong power? Poggy, pog. Mr. Nick, your phone is from Gumshoe. How's it going? Have you been hanging in there, pal? Yeah, sort of. We just barely found something to latch onto. That's good, pal. What about you? Anything yet? Have you figured out where the killer and Maya are? Well, we don't have any leads, but... What? We don't have any more time. We just had one. Even a single clue would be really helpful. I was only able to come this far because I kept thinking to myself, gotta keep this trial going until Maya's been rescued. But have I just run out of the luck this time? Is all of our hope for naught? A tent, huh? A tent. I could see the circus tent. Mia? Looks like Maya was unconscious until just a few minutes ago. As soon as she woke up, she called for me. So it was Maya that called you away? She's locked in a dusty little room right now. But I could see a circus tent outside of the window about 300 feet away. Gumshoe, is there a circus in town right now? Is it one big one, pal? Only one, pal. The very big circus. Maya is somewhere within 300-foot radius from the main tent. What? Okay, hold on a sec, pal. Hey, draw a circle on that map, about 300-foot radius from the main tent area. And, I can see a mailbox under the window, just outside. Gumshoe, there's also a mailbox. Okay, what else? What else, Mia? I'm sorry, but I saw very little. It was a very small window, I couldn't see anything else. I felt like I was in an old office building, maybe on 3rd floor or so. I heard her on an office building. Good stuff, pal. Just hang in there, just a little longer, pal, which is luck. Call you later so you don't let your battery die, okay, pal? Mia's not hurt? Maya's not hurt, right? In a pretty bad state, Phoenix? She's being starved. It's been 2 days. Looks like we're out of time. Are you alright, Phoenix? Only a matter of time before Maya's rescued. I can do this, I just have to make this trial last a little longer. March 23rd, 12:05 p.m. We will now reconvene. The killer, the man who murdered the victim, handed this to his client. When this once obvious questions arise, why this peculiar item? I believe the answer to that question will provide us with the name of the real culprit. Now then, the prosecution calls the defendant manager Adrian Andrews to the stand. Currently, the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. However, you have been called to the witness stand today to ascertain who exactly is guilty of murder. I understand, very good. Now, have you ever seen this bear before, Miss Andrews? Of course I have. Seen it before? That's right. Only natural that the witness has. Miss Andrews, could you please enlighten the court to this bear's secrets? Alright. Why? Why does she? The Bear Figurine. Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. At its center is a small cavity, just enough some room to store a small item. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can open the bear. You really can't tell that it's a small jewelry box just by looking at it. So this figurine is a container of sorts, is it? Yeah, those can be deceiving, wouldn't you agree? Yes, this is superb craftsmanship. Oh, yes, I nearly forgot you may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. There really was something that the bear after all. A puzzle? That's right. It looks like an ordinary figurine. True enough. People who don't know, I'm sure they would never guess that it was a puzzle. Don't make me solve the puzzle, dude. So what kind of puzzle is this exactly? It starts at the heart, just pull each piece until like another piece comes out, right? Well, you first turn on its tail to push right and then push it in. Oh yes, I see. After that, the arms and legs are free to move and can be removed. Oh, that's the most interesting. A boy and his new toys, like if he's 5 years all over again. Oh, don't mind me. I think he's lost it. So, what do you find after you take the puzzle apart? And how did you know about this? I knew because I was the one who bought it. Huh? It was a souvenir from when a friend and I went to Switzerland. And this was a present from you? That's right. It was a puzzle in the shape of a bear, so I thought it would be perfect for Juan. So it was a present from Ms. Andrews. Witness, let's continue with your testimony. Because of its complexity, you don't know the order you can open the bear. That's about right. So, who exactly knew how to solve this puzzle? Only the two of us and one of myself. It was a souvenir from Switzerland, so I doubt there are too many people with the same bear in this country. It looks like it can be easily broken, especially if someone wanted to get what's inside. Well, it's a toy, but it can never be the same again once it's been broken. Who else knows about this bear? It's actually a small container or delivery box. I never told anyone. As long as Juan never told anyone either, then only the two of us knew. Two of you, huh? And of course, that means Mr. Ngardi didn't know it, right? This is about all I'm going to get for now. No. Well, Mr. Wright, I think even you have come to realize there's only one very important fact we haven't covered, and this bear is actually a jewelry box. Now that we have agreed to this point, only one logical question to come next, and that is, what is inside the box? What's inside? That's right. That's what we are going to find out next, witness. Yes, you are the one who can open this. Please. There's a painful silence hanging over the courtroom. All eyes are on Miss Andrews now as she solves the puzzle and takes it. She took it apart. Click, I've opened it. This is what you wanted. What is that? Looks like a note. Dunka. I don't think we need to guess what this is, did we, Mr. Wright? It's a suicide note. Suicide note left by Juan Karada's former manager, Celeste Impacts. Until now, no one knew of its whereabouts. But as we suspected, it was hidden. Hidden by the victim, Juan Karada himself. It seems Celeste Impacts had very beautiful handwriting. And she just as beautifully signed her own name on the document. It was definitely the note she left right before she committed suicide. Dunk. Witness, did you know about this? Yes, I did. I heard it all about it from Juan. When I discovered his body, I looked for the bear. I wanted to destroy the note before it became public. But I couldn't find it anywhere. Because it had already been taken by the killer. Everything is going at Mr. Edwards' pace. Now that the suicide note has been found, what's the logical question? What is written on the note? That's right, at least that's what I would think. Now then, I believe it was only appropriate the contents of the note be made known. Can't stop you, can I? I went through so much just to get my hands on it. I was going to burn it, for her sake. I'm deeply sorry, but I can't allow you to persuade me to stop. Your Honor, if you could please read the documents of the note aloud. Very well. The judge's voice rang loudly and clear through the deathly silent room. In her note, Celeste Impacts left to us a record of all that has happened to her. About being used and then thrown away by Ngarde, about being engaged to Karada, Ngarde's role in destroying that, and about how she decided to, in her despair, to end it all. Donkey honky donk donkey honky. And that's all Miss Impacts had to say. There is one thing I would like to say here. The prosecution has no interest in slandering Mr. Ngarde. And what? Our intention, Your Honor, is to establish a motive for murder. Isn't that correct, witness? Yes. On the night of the murder, Juan was going to make the contents of the note public. After the post-ceremony show, he was going to hold a press conference. My word. Madame Ngarde values above all else its refreshing like a spring breeze image, which is why he had to stop his note from being made public. At any cost, that suicide note added to the court record. Dunk-a-honk-a-dunk-dunk-dunk-dunk-a-honky-dunk-dunk-dunk. It's Ngarde's fault, and this time he even went so far as to kill someone to stop him from revealing that. How terrible, what selfish person gets to just line ball lawyers out there who will defend these creeps too. How dare you? Honestly, how dare you? No room for doubt here. Mr. The Killer's client's goal was to obtain the suicide note. And the only person who did that note this badly was the defendant. Do not forget that the burial with the note inside was found at the defense house. That we have come to the truth at last. The defense motives were entirely selfish. There was no sympathy from anyone. I'm not supposed to skip from this one. Why, that's a taste of Phoenix. Gumshoe hasn't called yet, so you know what must do. I know, I have to carry on and buy him more time. Okay, there is 2 other places and evidence the figurine suicide note. Maybe somehow I can find a way out of the situation through one of those. The gavel is already in the judge's hands. Phoenix, hurry. Suicide note on the figurine. Which one should I pursue? I feel like I want to pursue the figurine. Please wait, Your Honor. Where my crackers at? He's still going at it. It's like he doesn't care that he's trying to get a killer off the hook. Hello. 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 I'll keep reading then. Essen took this with him from the crime scene after murdering Kurata. The request of his client, of course. So what's your point, Mr. Wright? I don't think it's possible that Mr. Big Killer's client was Matt Angarde. Matt, I think there is a contradiction here. Ellipses. You can't tell by just looking at it that this bear was really a jewelry box. It is that Matt Angarde thought this note was inside the bear. There was none. Oh, I didn't think about that. And I didn't think of it in that way. Dunk donkey, dunk donk. Exactly, but I did think of it that way, and I thought it was rather strange. After all, there is no reason why Mr. Angarde would ever want a jewelry box like this. Dunk donkey, dunk donk. Order, order, order. You make a valid point, Mr. Wright. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? Just a flash, but I think I did rather well on this one. Fortunately, I think he believes differently. I believe a show of appreciation is in order. Huh? Ben seems to be in love with wishing more despair upon himself. I'd like to direct the court's attention to this. What is that? It's a very small video camera, Your Honor. The type of camera is commonly used as a means of spying. Spying? What the? I thought the spy camera was in my possession. Matt Angarde and the victim both thought of this other as their biggest rival. That even went so far as to use this type of item to find each other's weaknesses. Then, the victim, Juan Kurata, was being spied on. Personal life was being watched by none other than Mr. Matt Angarde. Order, order, ahead, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You don't tell me you knew about your client's spying activities. Well, sort of. Sort of is not an acceptable answer, Mr. Wright. I see you're confused, Mr. Wright. You're probably thinking, but I have the camera that was in the stuffed bear's eye. But this is the camera that I have, not the same one. Last night I searched the victim's house on a hunch, using this Gumshoe's bug sweeper. By the way, Mr. Wright, the defense fingerprints were found on this camera.
The victim's house.
Huh?
You can't just search someone's house.
It was a crime scene area, you can search it.
He's a lawyer.
His fingerprints
He's not a
were...
criminal investigator.
He's a prosecutor. He's the prosecutor.
He's still a lawyer.
It's San Francisco, baby. Angarde's fingerprints were on there. Well, Phoenix, it looks like those cameras were hidden all over the place, huh? What am I supposed to say to the evidence? I think this is the end. Fairly obvious that Mr. Angarde learned of this suicide note through this. Watching the victim all along. He got me good this time. I don't have anything to counter that. Hey, now what's the man? That's the bad killer guy. Shush, don't stop. The way he's sweating. E.T. Phoenix. Yes, Chief. Have you figured out what you're going to do next? What am I going to do next? Is running away like a frightened child work? I know it seems like Mr. Edgeworth is very close to putting the lid in this case, but in his eagerness to prove his point, he forgot one very important thing. Well, what is it, Nia? There's a piece of evidence that you should investigate. Something you should investigate. I would really hate to see that good prosecutor get scolded for not remembering to look into the item when he had the chance. Why are you speaking in riddles all of a sudden? Alright, I think this time we finally understand everything. Well, Mr. Wright, you don't have any further objections, do you? What is the piece of evidence Mia's talking about? Can I figure out what it is? Present evidence. I have an objection, Your Honor. No. Humph, that was about the weakest objection I've ever heard, Mr. Wright. Objection! Your Honor, the defense has no intention of letting this go so easily. You're beginning to sound desperate. That's just your imagination, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, this is not like you at all. Question mark ellipses. In your eagerness to prove your point, you've forgotten one very important thing. Hey, isn't that what I just said? So you're telling me that I forgot something? You're so close, Mr. Edgeworth, but there's something you really should be examining, should examine about this piece of evidence. A suicide note. That is, this impacts the suicide note, right? Who knows? I mean, sure, the suicide note was found inside the bear, but this bear was in my possession until only a few moments ago. Which means the handwriting of this suicide note has yet to be analyzed. Oh, so, as to whether this pivotal piece of evidence is really written by Miss Apex or not, has yet to be even remotely confirmed. Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Mr. Wright, are you saying the suicide note is a fake? Miss Andrews, you were the one who tried to pin this murder on Mr. Angarde. Who would have said you didn't create a fake suicide note to put in this bear? How dare you? Your Honor, the defense is indiscriminately accusing this witness again. There is no evidence linking the witness to the suicide note whatsoever. Objection! But if this is fake, then the witness is the only person who could have made it. What? Recall the witness's testimony concerning the figurine. Only person other than the victim who could have solved this puzzle was the witness herself. Ah, her glasses broke. Miss Andrews, you wrote this note, didn't you? You wrote it so you could use it to frame Matt Angarde. I did no such a thing. Right, if you're going to pronounce the suicide note a fake, then show the court some evidence to support your theory. Objection! Mr. Edgeworth, you were the one who presented this scrap of paper as evidence. That means the burden of proof lies with you, the prosecution. Ah! Wounded. Critical hit. That's enough, Mr. Edgeworth. Can you prove it? As the defense has stated, the handwriting has to be analyzed. If that's the case. It seems that yet again we have reached a point where a verdict is impossible. Boss. It's impossible. This isn't good, Phoenix. The judge is going to carry the trial over one more day. I don't think Maya will physically be able to make it another day. I don't want to have to do this, but I don't have a choice. I request that both the prosecution and defense further investigate. Handwriting. Angarde is guilty. Look, any idiot can tell you that. I think we've reached the end of the line. Guilty, guilty, as a chant. Dunka hunka dunka dunk dunk. Man leaves a cell phone in the middle of a court case? What's that sound? It's Gumshoe. Beep. Hello, Gumshoe? Sigh. Was with them? What was that sigh? Where's Maya? What happened to the killer? He got away? What? I'm sorry, pal. I really am. I don't know what to say besides I'm sorry. I wish there was some way to make it up to you. I really do. Anyway, what's going on? We found out his hideout, pal, but the two of them were already gone. This is terrible. I'm going to keep looking for them, pal. Don't you worry. I just need a little more time. But don't tell me we don't have any more. Do you hear that? They're calling for his head. Mr. Wright, I can't for us to come this far in. Oh, what was it? Let me talk to Mr. Edgeworth. I can't do that. Mr. Wright, would you please get a hold of yourself? Yes, Your Honor. I'm about to end today's proceedings. You may take your phone calls after. Hold on, Your Honor. Edgeworth, catch. Take that. Mr. Edgeworth, please, you gotta buy us more time. Court is in session, beep. I'm sorry, Your Honor, you were saying? Mr. Wright, this is a court of law. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I'm reluctant to do this, however. It appears that I have no choice but to suspend proceedings until tomorrow. This time, I really can't do anything. Court is now adjourned for the day. Objection! Please wait, Your Honor. Edgeworth. What was it, Mr. Edgeworth? I humbly request another 30 minutes of Your Honor's time. For what purpose? We can perform the necessary tests on this piece of evidence in that time. But can you really obtain your results in 30 minutes? I believe we can, Your Honor. Wouldn't it be better if we adjourn for the day and we reconvene tomorrow? 30 minutes? Please, Your Honor. That's all I'm asking for. Please, Your Honor. Very well. At the prosecution's request, this court will now take a 30-minute recess, but be advised that I will not allow another recess today. I'm not sure if this is helping us or hurting us. Court will not take its final recess for the day. Donkey donk, donkey donk, donkey donkey